Welcome guys to my YouTube channel. I hope you are fine. I hope this playlist is fine. So in the last lecture, I taught you what is IP address, what are the types of IP address that you have, and what is CIDR that I taught, but not in that detail. So in today's lecture, we're going to study all of these topics, but in very detailed manner, and we will also see how you can implement these topics in AWS. So let's start this lecture. So when I say about a VPC, first question you might ask is what is VPC? So I will take one small example to explain you what is VPC. So when I say about example, yeah, let's say this is your house. Okay, this is your house. So in this house, only those people will be entered, those you know, right? So if you don't know a particular person, you won't allow him to come into your house. So similarly, if in cloud also, if a particular IP or if a particular network is not recognized by this a particular server, then it won't allow you to go inside the house. So that is why it is called as private. Only those IPs which are been known to this particular house or the particular IP will only be sent into the house. So that is why your VPC plays a very important role in creating the private network. In the private network, why there is need of private network? For security purposes. You remember in last lecture we have implemented this EC2 in Windows operating system. In that, when we copied the public ID and we pasted in this new tab, you observe that in the left hand side it is telling not secure, not secure. Means anyone in the internet can able to use this thing, and some people might do it in the wrong way also. So that's why it is important for you guys to always create a private network so that your website won't be corrupted or your data won't be corrupted. So what is the definition of this VPC? A private isolated network inside AWS where you can launch your resources securely. So what I told, to launch this secure for privacy, for security point of view, you will going to use this virtual private cloud such as EC2, RDS. You can launch the compute, relational database system, EC2, everything using this VPC. So I also took one example. Your own fenced backyard in a big city, you control who enters and what is happening inside. So in this house also, what is happening inside, that is in your house, but what is present outside the house, that is irrelevant to you. What is present inside the house, that you control, like who should come inside the house, who should not come inside the house, it will be done used by the VPC. So there are two types of VPCs that we have in AWS. One is the default VPC, one is the custom VPC. Default VPC is the virtual private cloud which AWS offers. Like it will offer by the default parameters. But custom VPC means you can create your own custom VPC. By you can create your own subnet, you can create your own routing table, you can create your own IP, everything you can create by your own. So now I will go into, now we have to see how you can implement this in the AWS. So first you should go to AWS console. We will go step by step. So we went to the console. We should type VPC, virtual private cloud, isolated cloud resource. If you go here, it's loading here, it is loading. See, here it is telling Europe Stockholm 1. So what is the meaning of Europe? This is the current by default location that my AWS system is having. So now in this, what you have to do, you have to go to VPC, and in this you have to click on the create VPC option. So now in this, you have been given the settings like create only VPC resource or another VPC network that you want. That is your choice. For now, we are going to create the VPC only. You have to write your name. Let's say I'm writing my first VPC. So now here what I will do, here I have to pass the CIDR rule. So in the CIDR rule, what I will pass, in the last lecture I taught you, CIDR means like let's say if you are purchasing, like if you are staying in one particular area, how many houses are there, what is the number of your house, that you can use this that you can do using this CIDR rules. So let's say I am keeping this same as like this /24. This is the CIDR that I am giving. Tennessee and all I don't want, key tags and all I don't want. I will just click on create VPC. So when I click on the create VPC, this particular VPC has been created successfully. So this in this particular ID, in this particular my first VPC has been created. So this is how you can able to create the VPC in this particular thing. If I click on the CIDR, this particular CIDR is there. You can edit the CIDR, you can update the CIDR. That depends upon the your choice. Now what you have to do? Now what you have to do? Now you understood how you can able to create the VPC CIDR block and click on create VPC. So this is how you can able to create the VPC in your network. So here I'll again go back to this particular console. So here I'll for now I'll just open the VPC. See, once you open the VPC, here in the left there is an option called as your VPCs. If you click here, whatever the VPCs that you have created will be shown here. So this is the very important concept. Now second topic comes is subnet mask. Now what is subnet? Now let's say this particular thing is your area, house area. Let's say you have purchased a land and in that you have constructed the house here. Correct. You have constructed the house here. So see, this particular boundary is called as subnet mask. Is called as subnet mask. Is called as subnet. So here, let's say here there are some rules that are there here. Okay, some rules are there here, and in here whatever the like, let's say if a particular data is present here in this particular range, this particular using the subnet, what it can do, you can able to control the access. Let's say if particular VPC is here, you will allow this person to come inside. You will allow this person to come inside. Obviously, with the private security reasons, you will allow this person to come inside. So subnet means what? Maximum range or maximum range that you want it to be secure. So you didn't understood, right? I will take one more simple example to explain what is subnet. So here I will take one very good example of home itself. Okay. So the example that I'll going to take is this one only. Let's say this is your house. Correct? This is your house. So in this particular house, you know that, right? This house is present in some particular area. Let's say if this house is present in Whitefield, let's say it's present in Whitefield. So let's say if this particular thing is the area, this is the area, this is the area, and this is the house that is present inside the area. So outside this area, no one knows about your house. Outside area, no one knows your house. And inside this area also, some people might know about your house, some people might not know about your house. So this area of how much your IP, how much your VPC should be stored, that is called as subnet. So subnet means what? Subnet divides your VPC into smaller section to organize and control the access. If you take example, your backyard has play area, private subnet, and a flower garden, public subnet. So means what? In this particular house, like this area is public. Why this area is public? Because in this particular area, some other people house also will be there. That's why this particular area is called as public. But this house is private because this house, this house is also private, this house is also private, this also house is private, this also house is private, but it is present inside the area. So that is called as subnet. So in simple terms, what is subnet means? The total allocated area where your house is present is called as subnet. So what is the total area? Here in the last lecture, if you studied or not, here I told that this IP addresses have the range of 0 to 255. Correct. So this public, which is having the maximum area, will always have subnet mask as 255.255.255 point. Here you will write either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. You can write till 255. 1, 2, till your 255. So what does this mean? This means that this particular thing represents what it represents. It represents the net. It represents the IP network. So the maximum range of the network will be this particular thing. Okay, so this is how the subnet mask works. So I hope you understood the example and the real life example. There are two types of subnets that you have. You have private subnet and you have public subnet. See, public subnet means what? As internet access via internet gateway. What does this mean? Now let's say here there is one private subnet. This is one house. Let's say this is your house. This is your house. Correct? Okay, so what happens? This house is present in one particular area. This house is present in one particular area. Is in same area it is present. Both are present inside the same area. That is in this particular region. Let's say in the Mumbai region, this house, this both houses are present. So now to access the internet for this both, to access the internet for this, to access the internet for this. Let's say if I write this house as A, if write this house as B. So to access the internet from A to B, it has to be passed via internet gateway. Internet gateway. Internet gateway. Internet gateway. So what internet gateway will do? It will take the input from A, that is the IP address from A, it will send it to B, and after B will acknowledges the acknowledge from A, then it will send back the data to A. Let's say if A wants data, it will request the internet gateway to fetch the address of B. Then it will send the request to B, and if B accepts, then only it will send the data back to the A. So to connect between this is called as internet gateway. So this internet gateway, it has the internet access via the internet gateway. So the communication between these two private networks inside one particular region takes place using the public subnet. Private subnet means there is no direct internet access. Let's say here you are having this particular network as A. Here you has internet B. Here you have B. You cannot communicate this between A and B because both are having the different subnets. Means both are present in different areas where there is no relation between it. So that's why it is called as private subnet. Let's say if it is present in this particular region, if it is present in this particular region, so obviously A is not present inside the B region, B is not present inside the A region. So there is no particular connection between it. So I will take one best example. Let's say you are staying in India. In Nagpur you are staying, your relatives are staying in, let's say, United States. So is there any, like, unless other than the mobile phone, is there any public, like, is there any hand contact or is there any face contact it takes place between you and them? You won't, it won't take place unless and until you both stay in the same area. You will come and you will meet, then it will happen. Let's say if you are staying in Nagpur, let's say, so in Nagpur, the meeting between A and B will be possible. Meeting between me and me, my relatives, will be more possible compared to between me who is sitting in Nagpur meeting in the USA person. So that is the reason why this private subnet does not have any internet access. So no communication takes place. So how you can implement the subnets? We'll again go to the VCPs. Here you have to click the subnets. Okay. Once you click on the subnets, here you have to click on the create subnet. Create subnet. Now first thing what it will ask you is on which VPC, like just now we created VPC, right? On which VPC you want to create the subnet. Okay, so let's say here I will create, let's say just now I created my first VPC. I will select my first VPC. This IP has this particular CIDR. You can specify the subnet settings. Like if I go to here, it will ask like in which availability zone you want to create it. So let's say here I'm writing my subnet one. I'll write this same name, subnet one. Availability zone. In which availability zone that you want to do? Let's say I want to do it in, let's say if Europe is the region, in this particular region only we are doing. Okay. Now here this particular CIDR block, I want to change this CIDR block. I will keep this in same area, point 0.0. I'll also keep this as 24 itself. Okay. Here tags remove, my value remove and all you will do, and we'll create the subnet. See, the subnet has been created successfully. So now what happens, like, one important topic comes here in subnet. Now let's say you are creating a VPC, correct? You are creating a VPC. Let's say I am in India. I want to create my virtual private cloud in, let's say, Mumbai region. In Mumbai region. Okay. So let's say I created my VPC in Mumbai region, correct? So in Mumbai region, right, every particular region have the three availability zones. Let's say A, B, C. These are the three availability zones that you have. So what you are doing in subnet, out of these three, like your data is stored in the Mumbai region, means out of these three, in these three places where data is stored, let's say I want that my subnet should only be there in the A region. So what has happened? You created your particular virtual cloud in A, and you also created the subnet mask for this particular A in the A region. Only in the A region you have created the subnet. You didn't created the subnet for B and C region. So this is what we have done just now. We selected one, we already created in Stockholm region. In Stockholm it has asked for the availability zone. In the availability zone, what we choose ABC, means the different regions. So this is how your particular subnet connection takes place. Okay, so for, so this is how you can able to do it. So for public, and one very important thing in this, let's say here I'll again go to the subnet option. Here I'll again go to the subnet option. Here I will write a VPC ID. I'll choose. Let's say I choose in this VPC ID. So now here it has asked the CIDR block, everything it has asked you. There is no tag that is been required to you for now. So this is how the VPC has been created. I hope you understood the concept of VPC. Now these things, when we discuss the internet gateway, we will be going to do this thing in implementation as well. Now next topic comes is CIDR. What is CIDR? Classless inter-domain routing. So in the last lecture I taught you what is CIDR. Like it is the range of IP addresses available in the network or subnet. So what does this mean? I will tell you. Now let's say this is the particular network or area. Let's say this is the particular, here I will write area. Here I will keep this little bit so that you can understand it. We will write area. Okay, so in this particular area, if you guys know, like this is one house present in this area, this is one house present in this area, this is one house present in this area, this is one house present in the area. So total how many houses are present? Four houses are present. We will name this out: 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here we have created one particular thing like 192.168.12.0. Correct. Let's say this is the area code. Let's say this is the particular area. Okay, we created the VPC or subnet. Okay, we created the subnet. Created the sub. We created the we created this particular thing in the region. Okay, in this area. So yeah, so let's say this is the, let's say, subnet, because we are, okay, let's say this is the subnet. Okay, means particular area. And now in this particular subnet, let's say if you want to access the first house, so what you will do, you will just write this. If you write 1, then this house will get will be getting this thing, will get the access, means you are talking about this particular house. Now let's say if I write this thing as 2, means you're talking about this particular house. So if you talk about a particular one specific network in subnet or in a network, that we call as CIDR. Okay, so range of IP addresses available in the network. Let's say this has one IP address, this has one IP address, this has one IP address, this has one IP address. So if, like in this particular area, all four are present. So to identify the specific IP address, you will use this CIDR concept. Real life example: assigning the house numbers to plots in your backyard. You see, this is house number 1, this is house number 2, this is house number 3, this is house number 4. Like this, you have been allocated the houses in this particular entire region for easy identification purpose. So there are two types of CIDRs. Okay, one is your VPC CIDR. Means let's say you have created a virtual private cloud. Let's say this is your virtual private cloud. In this VPC, you are having, let's say, some IPs. Let's say this is my one IP, this is my one IP. So to access this particular IP, let's say if this VPC has the access as 192.0.0.0, let's say private IP. So now let's say if you want to access this particular IP, let's say if I write this as 1 and if I write this as 2. So to access the particular IP from VPC is called as VPC CIDR. Okay. But if you want to access for from CID from subnet, so what you will do if the same thing happens from subnet? Let's say if I take this particular thing from area, if I take it from the particular subnet. So if I want to access this particular house here, let's say I'll write 1.1.1.0. If I want to access the third house from this particular subnet, then this type of CIDR is called a subnet CIDR. I hope you understood the concept of subnet CIDR as well. Now, how you have to implement this subnet CIDR and VPC CIDR? So for this, what we will be going to do in VPC, creating VPC. Like here, we go to the subnet. First, let's say here I will add this particular thing. We'll go to the VPCs. We'll click on the create VPC. Now here in this VPC, what I will do, I will pass the CIDR also. Means I'm creating a separate IP inside this particular VPC. Let's say here I'm writing my VPC 01, sorry 02 I will write. See here I will write CIDR, means I will write 10.0.0.0/24. Here I will write, here I will write this thing. I can write anything like IPv6 CIDR or IP, no, IPv6 CIDR, means here we are not using the IPv6, here we are using the IPv4. So here once I click the VPC, means in the particular network you will be having one particular IP which is present in this VPC. If you go to subnet also, and if I click on create subnet, and if I write my in my first VPC, if I write, let's say here I have to write the subnet, like here I will write my subnet 02, I will write availability zone, I will write, as here I will write Europe C, and now here I will pass the CIDR block. Here I kept 24, means what, we here we have to enter the VPC CIDR block, and then you have to enter the subnet CIDR block. Let's see, here I am writing 10.0.0/24, and now see here you have entered the subnet CIDR block, means in particular area how much you want it. So let's say here I will keep it as 255.255.255.0, 55.255.0/24 if I write, and now if I click on create subnet, uh, CIDR is not within the CHC. This is the issue that came. So this, what is this error here? You everyone will get this error if you try to change this value. See, if you specify the VPC CIDR block, then you have to keep the subnet CIDR block also same, because VPC is present inside the subnet range. And once you extend the subnet range, the security for VPC will be compromised. That's why you should always keep the value as same. Let's say I'll write 10.0.0.0, and now if I write and one more thing, CIDR address overlaps with existing subnet CIDR. Means what? Before I already in front of you, before I created the CIDR, like correct, again I created the CIDR in the subnet where I kept the VPC and this one same. So those both are getting clashed here. So to avoid it, just we'll write 1 here. I will keep a 0 here, and here I'll write 21. I'll write 1 here. Now again one more thing here comes is, here in this my subnet, if you remember or not, if I go to my subnets, and if I click on the edit option, action edit subnet settings. So now here you know that here we already specified this particular subnet ID. This is the subnet ID that we had specified. So that's why when we create the again subnet, it won't work, because you already specified the range. This is the input v4 CIDR range for this particular subnet. So this and the second one which we are creating is creating the clash. So that's why when you always create a subnet, always delete the previous one and then you create again subnet, so that multiple subnets won't create confusion to you. Because if multiple subnets have been created and if it's created problem to you, then it will go into the problem of confusion. So my subnet 2, here I will write, here I will write a. Now I'll pass the same, I will pass that same the subnet CIDR/24. See, now it will work, now this will work. let's say here I will pass 25. Let's say here, if here I can pass any subnet ID, I can pass like 255.255.255.0 slash 25. This also I can pass, means the range that you are specifying. So what does this mean? This mean, let's say if this is the particular total area, let's say this is the total area. Okay, in this particular area, we you created a VPC. You created a VPC, and inside the VPC you are creating an IP. You are creating an IP. You're creating an IP. So this is the meaning of this particular thing that I am doing. Subnet. This is what I am first doing here. Here you specified the VPC subnet. Yeah, I'll keep this as same 24, and now I'll click on the click subnet and it will work. 10.0.0.0 slash 24. If I create on this subnet, it works. So this is how your subnet works. Now the last topic that we're going to discuss in this lecture is about the security groups. So in when we are creating the computes, we studied about two types of securities. One is inbound, one is outbound. First pause this video and you define what is the inbound security group, what is the outbound security group. So in this I gave one very good example. Now let's say you are having the house. Okay, this is the house. Let's say in this some people are there in the house. House means private. So now you will, let's say if this is the particular border, okay, this is the particular area your house is present, let's say. Now let's say if I want to come into your house, let's say if I want to come into your house, if inbound permission as allowed as HTTP, if HTTP is there, then what you will do, what you will do, from your home you will send person to outside. This is called as inbound. So what we had done, you remember, we copied the IP address from the instance and we pasted in the browser. When we pasted in the browser, what happened? It has worked. Means from your house, you are allowing that person to go outside. That permissions that you give is called as inbound permission. The outbound permission means whatever, if something from internet, you have to bring it into my house. Let's say someone from outside, I want to bring it into my house. So for that, I have to give the outbound permission. So this is how the inbound and outbound permission works. So definition means it's a nothing but a firewall rule. Firewalls are nothing but the permissions that have been given for maintaining the security. It's a firewall that controls the inbound and outbound traffic to AWS resources. The real life example. Here a gatekeeper is there who checks who can enter or leave your property. So who can enter means it comes under inbound. Inbound. Who can leave your out is this is outbound. See how beautiful this example is. Here he is checking in this diary and he's allowing, he's checking whether to allow person or not. This is the example for it. Now types of security groups I already taught you: inbound rules, outbound rules. Inbound means allow traffic coming in. Means what I told, if a person wants to come inside the particular network, you should allow them. That is called as outbound. If you want to allow person from home to outside, that is called as inbound permission. So allow traffic coming in, allow traffic going out. So how to implement it? How to implement it? So for this, we created the VPC, right? Here if you go down here, there is an option called as security group. If you click on the security group, here what here you have created some different VPC IDs are there, different owners are there, different security groups are there, that you are there. So now what you have to do, you have to click on the create security group. Once you click on the security group, first you have to write the security group. What is the name? Let's say I am writing my website uh, IBOB rules, means input bound, output bound. SSH to, we want to allow SSH and HTTP. to our network. Okay, now what we, so here we have to select the VPC. Here we created one first VPC, right? We'll select this VPC. Now here you have to write the inbound rule. In inbound rule, what I will write, I will add my the same last time that we did. Here we will select the SSH and we will specify the CIDR blocks. Now, here what are the CIDR blocks that we created? We create 10.0.0.0 that we created. So you can either give it to public. Now let's say I want that from outside, I want everyone to come inside. So that's why I'm giving it as public. But see, when I'm giving it public, what is happening here? This is not secure. But for now, I am giving it so that I can do SSH from a local terminal. Now here, what I will do, I will give HTTP. If I go here, if I type HTTP, HTTPS, if you give last lecture I told you what will happen, it won't work because it is secured. So whenever you see this particular 0000, it won't work here. So this is how you will give the inbound rules. In the outbound rules, what I will give, I will give all the traffics, means I will allow everything to come inside, everyone to come inside. So this traffic I can give. So if I want, I can only give HTTP and SSH here also. ICMP we can do, many things we can do here. But for now, I am giving all the traffics. Now, if you want, you can add tags. That is your option. But now I am not adding tags. So for now I click on the security groups. Once I clicked on the security groups, what has happened? You are like, this has been created successfully. Now from my terminal, I can easily able to create a VPC subnet, VPC and subnet that I can create it from my terminal because I allowed my SSH and HTTP, and I can create my Apache server from here also. It will work. So I will show in the next lecture, how you can able to implement these things in Mac and Windows operating system. So that's it, guys, for this lecture. I hope you understood this lecture. In the next lecture, first we will focus on the NAT gateway, very 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 important NAT gateway. Then we have to focus on the VPC peering. If you have two different private networks, how you can connect it using VPC peering. Then after this, what we will do, we will study what is the direct VPC connection. And after doing direct VPC connection, we will study about the uh, elastic IP. This is also very easy and very important also. And after this thing, we'll study about broadcasting. Broadcasting, last lecture I gave you the glimpse. This lecture we will study fully about the broadcasting. So that's it, guys. Thank you, guys. Please do like, share, and subscribe, guys. So these are very difficult, so I'm trying it to make it very simple for you. So thank you, guys.